What things don't Aussies pay for that we do over here? Like, I really want to know, because I mean, I would imagine like things would be pretty much exactly the same. You know, Australians, a lot of you guys are descended from Brits. You guys probably think very similarly to us. I'm trying to think what would be something, maybe because of the temperature difference, maybe sunscreen. But apart from that, I can't think of anything else.
You move countries, you expect the obvious things to be different, like the products on the supermarket shelves, or the accents, or even the street signs. But I didn't expect money itself to work differently. At first, I genuinely thought I was doing something illegal, like surely someone's going to stop me for not tapping my card right now. But no, this is just how it works here. And when you start to see what I mean, you'll start to question why we even pay for these things in the UK in the first place. So today I'm going to walk you through the 8 things you don't have to pay for in Australia, but you absolutely would in the UK. So grab a cuppa, let's get into it. Hey mate, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Sam, a British actor documenting my journey of rebuilding my life in Australia. So number 1, beach parking. While I currently live in Brisbane, Australia, I'm actually back for a very short amount of time in the UK to visit friends and family. And we recently went on a little trip to Cornwall. And if you know it, it's one of the prettiest coastal counties in the UK. There's
very popular at the minute, super popular.
Lots of beaches, lots of surf culture. But I kid you not, every single beach we went to, we paid an absolute fortune for parking, and they charge you by the hour. It's not cheap. In Australia, you pull up to some of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen in my entire life, like the one in Currumbin, for example. The water is crystal clear blue.
Wow, look at that. And you can see the city on the other side. This looks unreal. I'd be there with a book just all day.
Right? There's a gelatissimo gelato shop. By the way, my wife and I love that place so much, we actually had them at our wedding. It was brilliant. And you look at the sign and it says you've got 2 hours for completely free, and you know because it's got the 2p and it's green. And that's the thing, in the UK you pay for the privilege to have your chips nicked by a seagull. Whereas in Australia, at least if they get nicked, you haven't paid for parking. I think it goes so much deeper than just saving a few dollars. It actually means that families and couples and people are going to get out more, enjoy the sunshine safely, slip, slop, slap, remember, instead of being stuck indoors, because sometimes you can't afford it.
Yeah. Honestly, like a family by the hour is insane. So if you go there, let's say it's £3 an hour and you want to be there all day. So if you're there for, I don't know, 7-8 hours, you're paying like 30 quid, 25, 30 quid. That's ridiculous.
I literally remember when I was at the beginning of my acting career in London, I wouldn't have been able to afford those sorts of things. So it really makes a difference and is very nice. Now, the next free thing on this list isn't just free in Australia, it's free in your country right now. And that's hitting that like button. Thanks so much. Now, the second thing you don't have to pay for in Australia is sunscreen dispensers. At somewhere like the beach. It's not uncommon to find around the beach vicinity some sunscreen dispensers that you can help yourself to. And it's really important because Australia has one of the highest accounts.
Whoa! 2 out of 3 Australians get some form of skin cancer. That's mental. I mean, no wonder the sunscreen's free. Wow. That's unreal.
For skin cancer. You might think, oh, Sam, in the UK, isn't it all just grey and rainy? It's actually not. And ever since I've started living in Australia, I've started tracking my UV. And when I came back to visit the UK, I realised that, particularly in summer, as you'd expect, our UV index can get quite high. We have some pretty high accounts of skin cancer in the UK. And, you know, I've got older relatives who are British and have to get skin cancer cut out of their faces and things, and it's very nasty and it's very horrible. And I think it's because we just don't have the same promotion and marketing about sun safety.
Honestly, it's actually true. The amount of people I've got to tell that you got to put sunscreen on, mate. Like, you just have to. Like, I didn't think I had to put sunscreen on, but I learned that yes, you know, I can get skin cancer too. Obviously, God forbid, but it's possible.
As you do in Australia. Free sunscreen in the UK, I don't see that happening anytime soon, especially as a lot of Brits, they don't take the sun seriously. I can say this from experience, and also having British friends and relatives will often, I don't do it anymore, go out to the beach, not put a drop of sunscreen on.
Mental.
And you'll see it on Bondi Rescue. The Brits flock to the beach and they look like tomatoes by the end of it.
Like tomatoes, just like red as F.
Because they haven't put sunscreen on and they think they're indestructible compared to the Australian UV levels, and sadly, you're just not. The third thing you don't have to pay for in Australia is council tax and...
What? You guys don't pay council tax? We get scammed over here, guys. We get robbed. Like, I'm paying like a few hundred a month for council tax for a one-bed flat. It's a joke.
Water occasionally when you're renting. Now, I know that there will definitely be some Australians in the comments who will disagree with this, but hear me out. When my wife and I were living in London, we were paying a lot of money for a shoebox of a one-bedroom apartment. And safe to say, we weren't getting our money's worth. But not only did we have to pay our big chunk of money to the landlord for our rent, we also had to pay our council tax, which is known as rates in Australia. It's what you pay the local council. We also had to pay for our gas and electric, for our water bill, and for our broadband.
It's a joke. You pay council tax for them to like collect the rubbish, fix the roads. Are the roads fixed? Nope. Is the rubbish collected? Nope. It's a joke. It's a joke. We're paying more and we're getting less.
Of course. Now, all of those things, as an adult, you expect to pay for. No problem at all. But when my wife and I booked our first ever apartment in Brisbane, we were so excited and we were looking through the contract and everything, and it said absolutely nothing about a water bill, and it said absolutely nothing about paying rates or council tax.
Unreal.
And I thought, surely not. So I emailed our landlord and he was like, yeah, mate, you don't have to pay for water. We're paying that for you. And you don't have to pay for the rates. And I thought, that's a bit nice. Now, a lot of you will probably want to comment, Sam, come on, mate, you're still paying for your rates and you're still paying for your water bill.
Oh, right. So the landlord is paying it. So it's not as if you own a house in Australia, you don't have to pay rates or water. It's just that his landlord is paying it on his behalf. Is that what's going on here?
They just lump it into that rental payment. So you're still paying for it, mate. Totally valid. And I completely agree. But the reason I still put this on the list was because we were still paying $200 less than our tiny London apartment with black mold. We got double the size of that apartment, big balcony, an outdoor space we never had in London, and we had a garage for our car. And then we only had to pay broadband, electricity, and hot water on top of that.
So you're just getting more for your money in Australia. You're getting way more for your money. Unreal. What are rates? How much are rates? Like, let's say you own a one bed, or let's say a 2-bed flat apartment in a big city in Australia. What would the rates be for that? Like in London, you're paying at least 250 a month, which is about 500 Australian. Because I think it's about 1 to 2 at the minute.
Even the dog loves it. Of course, this was our personal experience in Brisbane, the Queensland state. And also, if you own a home anywhere in Australia, you're going to have to pay for that water bill and those rates and everything else on the list. It's just on this occasion, we got a bit lucky. Tell you what, one thing the UK does have an upper hand on Australia with is that blackberries, they're absolutely free here.
Yeah, and they grow everywhere.
Delicious as well. Number 4, the best swimming pool in the entire world. Now, the pool in South Bank has a lot of mixed opinions from the locals. Some people absolutely love it and
wow, that's a swimming pool. Are you joking? Look at it. This is unreal.
they think it's a world-class man-made lagoon, while others think it's tacky, it's not cool. The fact that it's next to a man-made beach as well, they just think is absolutely awful.
Mate, who thinks this is awful? I mean, sorry, mate, that is amazing.
There was only one way for me to find out who was telling the truth, and that was to go visit it. And I did, and I have to say, it's pretty amazing. Now, the UK equivalent would probably be something like an indoor leisure centre that would cost you at least, you know, £8.50, £10, £15 for a day pass. And some people might see being indoors as a pro, but I think that the fact that you can be outdoors in a pool that is filtered on the Brisbane River, and if you get bored of that, you can go jump in the man-made beach right next to it, and you're in the gorgeous Australian sunshine, I think it's absolutely amazing. And the thing is, Australia has absolutely nailed that public spaces are designed for enjoyment and not profit. They're not trying to make a quick buck out of every single thing being built. But here's the truth, when I used to live here in the UK, money stress was constantly weighing on me. It literally felt like you had to budget for everything. And that wasn't just for the obvious stuff like, you know, rent, council tax.
It's so true. In London, like, if you're single, you need to be, to not worry about, you're still going to worry about money, but for it to not like be like sitting on top of you, you've got to be making at least, if you're single, minimum these days 50-60 grand. 50, 60 British pounds. So what's that? 120,000 Australian. If you're in a relationship and you live together, you might be able to get away with it if you're both earning 40, maybe. But yeah, anything less than that, I mean, London is so expensive, guys. How expensive is it in Australia? Like, what would you need if you were like a single guy in your city to live on? Like rent, food, good money left over to save, good money for spending.
It was for things like going out for something as small as a coffee and cake at a budget cafe with your mate. But then coming to Australia, suddenly these, what felt like massive expenses just got a little bit lighter. And I really think that's why I feel more confident to take risks. That's why I believe my work ethic and productivity is much stronger in Australia, because I don't have this mental drain of, oh, how are you going to pay for this? How are you going to pay for that in the back of my mind 24/7, like it literally was when I was start of my acting career in London. And just reducing those little things that have a negative mental drain on you really gives you so much more energy and time back, and with that comes a bit more happiness. Number 5, electric barbecues. Now, when you go to Australia for the first time, you'll see these things absolutely everywhere, and they are absolutely incredible because not only are they completely free to use, but they are so much better than anything you find in the UK. Whereas in Australia, they are these big silver things, right? You can fit loads of food on them and they are completely free to use. And all you need to do when you get there is just bring some cleaning products to give them a clean, because I've heard all sorts of stories about what happens on them. So the beauty—
Oh no, mate. You haven't got people going at it on those barbecues, have you? Oh, come on.
beauty of it isn't just that it's free, that you'll find them in the perfect spots, like on the beach, like in the park, like places where people would actually use them. And you don't see that sort of ingenuity in the UK all the time. If there is a convenient sort of public amenity, it's never when you need it. And it's becoming all too common now in the UK that you aren't allowed to take disposable barbecues with you to, a lot of beaches, a lot of parks and things like that. And if you do get caught in those places where it's not allowed, of course, you'll get a fine from the—
Yeah, disposable barbecues have been outright banned now because of the extreme heat and the wildfire risk. Yeah, like complete ban. You cannot buy disposable barbecues pretty much anywhere now.
Council, which means you're actually paying for the privilege of having a barbecue that you've also had to pay for a disposable one at the supermarket. I once had to rehearse some lines for an upcoming audition whilst, one of my mates was flipping sausages next to me, and it felt like the most Australian actor experience of my life. Number 6, public toilets. Now, I've heard Australians joking about having to pay to go for a wee in the UK in the public toilets a lot, and I would sort of laugh and think, oh, surely that's not true. But on this recent trip back, when we were in Cornwall, the amount of toilets that you would have to pay for was absolutely mind-boggling. Whereas in Australia, not only do you not have to pay a single cent to go into the toilets, there are so many more of them.
Wow.
They are so much more accessible.
Yeah, here at a big train station, you're paying like 50 pence, which isn't a lot, I get. But you go in there, it's covered in pee. The bloke who's done an S hasn't flushed. Just vile. It's just vile.
They're placed in the perfect spots that you need them in. And also, in my experience, they've been very, very clean. I'm sure there are public toilets in other parts of the country that have less than optimal standards for, their cleanliness and everything. But I've never seen you having to pay for a public toilet in Australia, which, in my opinion, makes it absolutely brilliant. Number 7, city centre transport. Now, I can only speak for Brisbane and Melbourne for these 2 points, but in Melbourne, if you're just getting on the CBD line, that is completely free. You don't have to tap your MyKey card, which is what you load your money onto. In Brisbane, if you're just getting on this loop here, right, and this is what they call it, it is completely free and you don't pay a penny. Whereas in the UK, public transport is really expensive. I mentioned in a previous video, this is how much it would cost in Australian dollars if I wanted to get a 2-hour train from Cheltenham to London. I actually rechecked it today and it gone up to 200 Australian dollars.
Yeah, when I used to go into the office every day, like pre-COVID, I was spending like a month, at least £200. So what's that? 400 Australian just to get the tube to work and back. Unreal. It goes up every year like clockwork.
Which is crazy for a return, that is. And when I began my acting career in London, paying for the tube every day was eating into my savings so much. It was genuinely so stressful. And by the way, if you want to get any insider tips about being a Brit, rebuilding life in Australia, and some of the things I wish I knew when I first moved there, then make sure you subscribe to my free weekly newsletter that's only a 3-minute read. I'll leave that in the first link in the description below for you. Number 8 is watching the TV.
Oh yeah,
now, if you want
license.
a fancy cable network subscription in Australia or streaming services, of course you have to pay for them like you would in any country. But if you want to watch normal daytime terrestrial television in Australia, this is completely free. And this completely shocked me as a Brit. But in the UK, we have to pay this much to watch terrestrial TV.
It's a joke. And I know some of you might say that's not a lot, it's 175 quid, but why should you have to pay money because you own a telly? Is that not insane? You've already paid for the telly. Why have you got to pay to use the telly?
Because the BBC channels are on there, so the money goes towards them to, help fund it, and so they don't have to have ads. And this includes watching BBC iPlayer. In Australia, there's no such thing. You can pop the telly on, and as long as you're not stealing some sort of cable network and it's just the normal terrestrial channels that come with, free TV in Australia, yeah, you don't pay a cent. Now, everyone in the UK knows that if you don't pay for a TV license, you start getting these letters through the door that say, we know you're not paying for a TV license, so make sure you get on it now, otherwise there's some pretty hefty consequences.
I know someone who had a bloke turn up. Literally. He had a bloke turn up at his door. I was like, you haven't paid your TV license. Like, could you imagine that?
So my wife and I, we bought one because we're very good. And the funny thing is, it was money that went completely down the drain because we never watched it. We never watched the terrestrial channels. We never watched BBC.
Oh
and it was just an absolute waste of money. Now, if you enjoyed this video, don't click.
It's crazy. Wow. I mean, to be honest, a lot of these really have left me shocked. The no TV license, the no parking at the beach is a big one, because if I could go to the beach every day, if I lived near a beach and it was free to park, I'd go every day. I'd go before work. I'd walk along the beach just to hear the water, just to like be away from because I live in a very built up like London suburb. And I love it, obviously, love all the things that come with that. But it would be nice just every day to have half an hour where all I'm hearing is waves, and to not have to pay for that would just be incredible. Like the no TV license as well. I get it, the BBC, it funds them and all that. I understand that. But the quality of TV from the BBC over the last 5-10 years has just been going down, in my opinion. I feel like maybe they need to go out and earn their money. And how would they do that? They'd do that by selling ads, and they'd need to make better television programs for the advertisers to want to put their ads on the TV channels. Because I feel like them just getting money every year automatically has allowed them to be a bit lazy. The programs just, apart from the documentaries and maybe EastEnders, the programs just aren't great anymore. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and check out this video right here. See you there.